how many of you guys have ever taught kids anything? And keep your hands up if you feel like you can't get through to kids or you feel like they're just zoning out. Well, as a kid, I know I've zoned out quite a few times with 13 years of schooling. And what we want to bring to you today is a youth perspective on how we learn best. First, we're going to go through like effective methods, methods that we feel are effective for learning, and then what doesn't work, and then recommendations we have for you. So I'm going to pass it on to Jenny.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny, and to kick this off, I want to talk about the effective methods of teaching youth. So the most important thing we think is that you should allow youth to do things for themselves. For example, when I learned how to drive, which is kind of scary, but so the first day of my lessons, my instructor took me to a parking lot, and basically he just told me, just like, do what you want to do. Practice braking, practice turning, practice stopping and going, and just like giving me the control over the car, except for, you know, just like don't hit other parked cars. But yeah, so I made my mistakes, you know, maybe I brake too hard or I turned too quickly, but I learned how to fix those problems. And after that first day, I already knew how to turn my car, and that was a good thing. And another method is have your workplace or your classroom with your youth make up a list of group agreements. For example, at UFAB, we thought of a list of rules that we were all going to abide by, such as having one person speak at a time, and while they're speaking, everyone should listen. And everything that we say in this room should stay in this room if it's personal. And this is important because so then we would feel that we are going to be in a safe room and we're not going to be scared to like speak up, and we feel confident that no one's going to laugh at us, and it just makes us feel comfortable. And another effective method is just to use real world examples when you're teaching kids, because sometimes if you just give up a straight up definition, it doesn't always stick in our minds for a long time. Maybe for like the first day we're like, okay, yeah, I know what this means, but after a while, like, that doesn't work. So you can give like a personal anecdote or examples, and then that gives us a visual, and usually that is what sticks in our minds. And also, just having friends, either new ones or existing ones in a workplace, that gives us, just being around people we like, it makes us feel more passionate and have more fun being with the people we want, instead of, you know, if we're with someone we don't like, we're not going to enjoy it. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing on with effective methods for teaching youth. Again, as Jenny said, we should have tons of fun, and one way to have fun is to have our friends with us, and also incorporating games such as icebreakers. For example, Ninja, have you guys heard of that? Ninja, where you guys hit each other's wrists. It might be painful, but it's fun. So incorporating these games maybe before a lecture, before a presentation, can easily ease the mood for youth to start working inside these conditions for presentations and lectures. And this is a really good way for engaging youth to work together. Secondly, there's guidance. When in our Youth Empowerment Fund, we have an adult supervisor, Bryant, as well as another lady called Gillian. Us 16 youth, we work together under the supervision of our supervisor, and we want to go through this individually, but there is a case when we need someone to look over us. We can't just go through our process without someone looking over us, or we'll just be going over and making mistakes over and over again. And so by having someone there with us, we are easily corrected. There's also templates where the adult or the youth can create a set plan or an agenda, and that makes it more comfortable because we know what we are looking for. And continuing on, there's also us youth, we do have short attention spans. In some cases, kids do have long attention spans, but in my case, I have a short attention span. And because of that, maybe throughout a lecture, a presentation, through a PowerPoint, we can have breaks in between. And these breaks are just allowed for us to, relax or maybe have a quick conversation with one of our friends or one of our colleagues that we work with. And that's really good because we just don't want to sit here and just be listening to some person speak about something that might be tedious, but that's not the case in all cases. And last but not least, evaluating and reviewing. I believe this is one of the best ways for youth to be learning, because at the very end of a presentation, it's good to ask questions, check up with the youth to see if they actually remember the materials. And by checking up with the youth, they can remember these things, and so it will be stuck in their minds, and that they won't have forgotten what they've just learned. Thank you.
So what makes these methods really effective is numerous amount of things. What really stood out for me on the board is how many innovative methods there were, which really means like new methods. Because I've sat through my fair share of PowerPoints and lectures and have gotten the material but not really absorbed it. On the Youth Advisory Council, which is another board I'm a part of, we got to write our notes on Post-its, crumple them up, and throw them in the middle. And just getting aggression out and writing my notes on paper and having this be a way to share our ideas really worked for me because it was new, it was interactive, and it made me feel like I was actually doing something. And when we get the ability to make decisions like which programs to fund, I really feel smart and like I'm having an effect on the community, and that's why the methods that we use on our board are really effective. The best part about our meetings is the check-ins and check-outs, where we get to take our load off the day and we go around the table and we say how we feel for the day. Are we excited for the meeting? Which sometimes we're not, but it just lets us have a personal aspect to the meetings, and that's great in an after-school program. And in this, we get to provide our own ideas, we get to put our input into the meeting, and just feel like we're actually taking part in something.
Okay, so we talked about what does work, so now I'm going to talk about what methods don't work. As mentioned before, lectures, especially for a long duration of time, usually doesn't work. Like, who here can sit through a 4-hour lecture and listen to every single word?
This isn't a mirror, by the way.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can do that, you're probably Superman, but most people, they can't. They go through one ear out the other. So, I mean, sometimes you do need to make a lecture, but you can have like small breaks in between. Like, you can tell a small joke, you can tell a story or something, just to like break the seriousness of the topic and have the kids feel like they're having fun and bring attention back to where you want. And also, what doesn't work is if the youth don't have connection to anyone they work with. As stated before, like, no one really wants to work with someone they don't like, because if they do, then they're never gonna want to be there. But fortunately at UFAB, we've been working for a few months together and we bonded. So I really like these people. Like, I feel like I want to come to work because I can see these people again. And that's the main reason why it works for me. And what doesn't work is if there aren't any respect from other peers and the adults, such as if everyone's shooting down your ideas. Like, if you say, oh, like, I think that we should build this, and people will laugh at you because they don't think you're saying the right thing. Of course that doesn't work. That just makes, the youth or anyone who said that feel that what they're saying isn't important. But thankfully at UFAB, what we usually do is we have a group brainstorm, and we have like a poster and everything that people say write down. And that's a really good thing because I feel like what I say, it has depth to it. Like, people think it's important. They want to listen to what I want to say. And something else that doesn't work is if some people in the group dominate over the others. Let's say if, like, Nina, she talks a lot, and Janin, he never says a a sound. Like he doesn't make any sound at all. So that doesn't work. So what we usually do at work is we came up with a rule, step up, step down. Basically, people who talk the most often, such as like Nina, she would sit down and not really like allow Janin to speak up his mind. And that's really important because we're a group together. We're all equals, and we should all have equal say in everything. And yeah, and as stated, if there aren't any breaks, no one's gonna have fun. Yeah.
We can run through this really quickly. So recommendations that we think might be useful is making youth feel like what they do is special or what is unique. At EFAT, we are program officers, sorry, and what we do is we communicate with the programs that we work with, that we funded, and we see how they're doing, and we report it back to us. And we have these specific roles, which make us feel empowered because we have these specific roles and we feel good about it. Complimenting youth on what they do well. When they do something well, we don't want to say, "Oh, you didn't do that well. You're not that good." We want to be supportive of them, and so that's a good way for youth to learn.
Giving constructive criticism. It really helps sometimes when, for example, when I started out at UFAP, I was really shy. I was kind of scared too often to say what I feel about certain things, but I wasn't sure if like other people noticed that. But after a while, people were saying maybe you should. Of course, they were saying it nicely. They weren't like saying like you should talk more, but it was just like maybe you should, like in a nice way. And it just opened my eyes up, like, oh, okay, maybe I should work on this. So I started trying to talk more at meetings and found the confidence to come here and talk to every one of you.
Second to last, giving youth specific roles. Even the smallest task of grabbing a bag of napkins or even becoming program officers as we are makes us feel empowered and makes us feel that what we're doing is special and these specific roles are really, really meaningful to us. And last but not least, tangible outcomes. Youth don't appreciate wasting time. And I do not appreciate wasting time myself. I mean, I want to make my life the most that it can be. And so by allowing us to not sit down and just listen to blah blahs is the most important thing we can appreciate.
So thanks for listening to us today. I hope you can get something out of this and feel that kids have shared something with you about how we learn. And if you want more information about the Youth Empowerment Fund, you can visit our website at yefsf.org. Thank you.
Thank you.